The adventures of Bella the bee and the secrets of the hive. In the heart of a colorful meadow surrounded by tall, whispering trees, there was a hive like no other. It was a bustling, golden home filled with hardworking bees who zipped in and out like tiny rockets. This hive was home to Bella, a brave and cheerful little worker bee. Bella loved her job, which was one of the most important in the hive, collecting nectar and pollen to make honey. Every morning, when the dew still sparkled on the wildflowers, Bella would stretch her tiny wings and prepare for a day of adventure. She was joined by her two best friends, Buzz, the strong and dependable bee who could carry the heaviest loads, and Lila, the fastest flyer in the hive, who could do loops and twirls that made even the dragonflies jealous. "Today, we're going to fill the honeycombs to the brim," Bella said with a determined glint in her eyes. Buzz nodded, flexing his tiny legs. "Let's show the hive what we're made of." Lila buzzed around them in an excited spiral. "Race you to the meadow." The trio flew off, their wings catching the early morning light as they soared over the meadow filled with colorful blossoms. Bella's tiny legs tickled as she landed on a bright yellow daisy and dipped her head into its center, collecting sweet nectar. She could feel the joy of being part of something bigger, knowing that every drop she gathered would help feed the hive. As they worked, Bella felt a deep pride in their teamwork. The meadow buzzed with life, and the sun warmed their tiny bodies as they flitted from flower to flower. But then, a dark shadow passed over the meadow. Bella's antennae twitched, and a chill ran down her wings. She glanced up to see a large black bird circling above. "It's a starling," Lila whispered, her voice trembling. Buzz's usually calm face hardened. "We need to stay close and move carefully. We don't want to catch its eye." The three bees kept their heads down, moving slowly between flowers until the bird flew away, uninterested. Bella let out a sigh of relief, her heart thumping in her chest. "Good job, team," she said, giving her friends a grateful look. "Sticking together keeps us safe." The day carried on with its usual hum until Bella noticed something strange in the air. A sharp, smoky smell made her antennae quiver. She looked toward the horizon and saw a thin wisp of smoke curling up from a campfire. The smoke drifted over the meadow, and Bella felt her thoughts grow fuzzy. "Smoke," she buzzed urgently. "It's making us confused. We need to stay focused and head back to the hive." Buzz and Lila, already feeling the effects, wobbled a little but nodded. They flew back, staying close to each other to avoid getting lost. As they reached the hive, the familiar warmth and buzz helped clear their minds. The queen bee, regal and wise, met them at the entrance. "Bella, Buzz, Lila, you did well. Smoke can be dangerous for us, but you came back together. That is true courage." Days turned into weeks, and the bees kept working hard, preparing their hive for the colder days that would come. They collected nectar and pollen, working as a team to fill the honeycomb cells with sweet, golden honey. Bella loved watching the other bees in the hive. The house bees took the nectar she brought and used their tiny wings to fan it, turning it into thick honey that glistened in the sunlight. One afternoon, Bella and her friends were resting under a wide leaf when they heard a loud growl that made their wings freeze. A bear, big and hungry, was making its way through the forest toward the hive, sniffing the air. "It smells our honey," Buzz said, his voice tight with worry. Bella's heart raced. She looked at her friends and then at the hive, where younger bees and the queen were huddled inside. "We have to protect our home," she said, a spark of determination lighting up her eyes. The three friends sprang into action. Lila flew high and buzzed around the bear's ears, making it shake its head in confusion. Buzz flew close to the bear's eyes, darting back and forth to keep its attention. Bella gathered more bees, and together they formed a cloud that buzzed around the bear, their collective hum loud and strong. The bear swiped at the air, startled by the brave little defenders. With a grumble, it turned and lumbered away, deciding that an easy meal wasn't worth the trouble. Bella and her friends landed back at the entrance of the hive, panting but victorious. "We did it!" Lila cheered, and the whole hive echoed her cry with tiny cheers and flutters of wings. As the days grew cooler and the first signs of fall appeared in the trees, Bella noticed that the flowers were becoming fewer. The bees had to fly farther and search harder to find food. One day, Bella, Lila, and Buzz set out to look for the last blooms of the season. They flew over hills and streams, their wings growing tired. "Over there," Lila called, spotting a patch of purple asters hidden near the edge of the forest. The bees buzzed with relief and gathered as much nectar as they could carry. On their way back, they passed a hornet nest hanging ominously from a tree branch. The hornets were big and fierce, and Bella felt her heart skip a beat. She knew they had to be quiet and quick. "Stay low and fly straight," Bella whispered. The friends moved carefully, their wings beating silently as they passed by. The hornets didn't stir, and the bees breathed a sigh of relief as they flew past the danger. Back at the hive, the bees celebrated their successful day. The honeycomb was full, and the hive buzzed with happiness. Bella felt a warmth in her heart as she looked around. They had worked hard through spring and summer, faced dangers together, and now, as the chill of winter approached, they would rest, safe and fed. "Bella," Buzz said, nudging her with a smile, "we couldn't have done it without you." Bella beamed, feeling proud but humble. "It's not just me. It's all of us, working together, protecting each other, and never giving up. That's what makes our hive strong." As the first snowflakes drifted down from the sky, Bella and her friends snuggled into the warmth of the hive. Outside, the meadow was quiet, resting under a blanket of white, but inside, the hive buzzed softly, full of life and love. And so, the story of Bella and her brave friends was told to every young bee, reminding them that hard work, courage, and teamwork could conquer any challenge, no matter how small they felt in a big, wide world. Facts about honeybees for kids. Hardworking bees. Did you know that a single honey bee can visit up to 5,000 flowers in a day? They work tirelessly to gather nectar and pollen to make honey. Winter life. In the winter, bees stay inside the hive, eating the honey they made and shivering their wings to keep warm. Smoke confusion. Bees can be confused by smoke because it makes them think their hive is in danger, so they move deeper into the hive for safety. Honey making. Bees make honey by collecting nectar, storing it in their honey stomach, and then passing it to house bees, who turn it into honey and store it in the honeycomb. Protecting the hive. Bees can work together to defend their hive from predators like bears or hornets by creating a protective barrier and using their strength in numbers. Vocabulary overview for kids. Nectar. The sweet liquid that bees collect from flowers to make honey. Hive. The bees' home where they live, work, and store honey. Pollen. A powdery substance from flowers that bees collect and use for food. Honeycomb. The structure inside the hive made of hexagonal cells where bees store honey. Mandibles. The jaws of a bee that they use for carrying and building. Retreat. To move back or go away, like the hornets did when the bees defended the hive. Scout. A bee that looks for flowers and reports back to the hive. Vibrate. To shake or move quickly back and forth, like the bee's wings to stay warm. Threat. Something that can cause danger, like a bear or a hornet. Unity. Working together as one, like Bella and her friends did to protect their hive.